been a couple years since I had chased. And the last time I chased, the last tornado that I was on was the Joplin, Missouri tornado path. So I was left with kind of a bitter taste in my mouth, or, you know, kind of a bad memory. So while I was excited to go chasing, I always knew in the back of my mind that, you know, what these storms are capable of doing.
I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. I'm positioned in Oakley, Kansas right now. This is western Kansas, and we've actually pulled over on the side of the road to assess more model data just to see exactly where we should position ourselves.
When we first left, Mark and I didn't really know each other all that well, so it was kind of a get-to-know-you period that first 3-4 hours in the car.
Whereas you can actually see into it.
This is a supercell, what we call an LP cell, so low precipitation. Mark, up until now, there really hasn't been too much danger with the storm. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal, standing just outside of Granbury, where an EF4 tornado touched down in the area.
Within 3 days, we were walking through a damaged path in Granbury, Texas, which was an EF4. So right away, it was a big reality check.
I just want to show you what an EF4 tornado can do to one home right beside me here. This home completely leveled.
That's left.
Being meteorologists, we feel like we can learn so much by being out there in the field and watching these storms right out of the gates.
We're just near Sunset, Texas, and we're hearing reports that there is another tornado on the ground.
Right now, we actually can't continue down the road because if we're going to have a tornado, it's going to be right in front of us. We keep driving down the road, we're going to be right in the middle of it. So we have to be very, very careful. Lightning danger is extreme here, so we're not going to spend.
You guys are going to get going, guys.
You know.
We are in Oklahoma, just north of a town called Lawton, and you can see some of these cells are starting to go up. We're seeing our active radar imagery as we travel in the car here.
They didn't know for sure.
A group of Marines came over and they heard moaning in the rubble right where we were standing. A flag that was, I think, underneath a vehicle or somewhere. It's so hard to make sense of where anything is. But they found a U.S. flag, and you could see them just sort of pull it out of the... They just grabbed the flag, they grabbed the post, and so slowly and gracefully, just that flag raised symbolized hope for the people of Moore.
Strip mall.
This here was a plaza, a strip mall. We all know what those are like. It had the typical nail salon in it, a couple other small businesses, including a daycare.
And we saw this man walking around, and we kindly went up to him, and I had no idea what he was up to. And he was very emotionally distraught, as his daughter was the owner of the daycare. So he took us around, and he showed us where they all hid. If you saw, you would never believe that anybody lived. So it was remarkable, and he was so proud of her, and I immediately filled up with tears because I was just so happy that they all lived, and I just can't imagine for him as a father, you know, what that meant to him. So it was remarkable, that experience. You know, once we saw Moore, we didn't think that we could see anything worse than that.
I've ever had.
Today comes with a bit of a attachment, and that is that these storms are likely to fire around Oklahoma City. We hope.
The ingredients that day that the Storm Prediction Center was discussing was off the charts. There are what we airport. George Karunas, host of Angry Planet, radios us and says there's a very large tornado on the ground.
On a plug, it's 40.
Large tornado on the ground, somewhere in that mess of rain.
We saw this rain-wrapped tornado. We knew there was a tornado in there, and then all of a sudden it moved very fast, pushing southeast.
For now, I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal for the Weather Network.
I heard the wind like I've never heard the wind before.
Our entire chain.
Power flashes. Big. Holy smokes.
It was such a massive tornado.
The National Weather Service have the ability to get underground. That is where they want to be. The other big part of the danger is take a look at the amount of chasers. Mark, if you could just get that shot. Take a look at the amount of chasers that are on the roads today.
And you could see little pieces of debris blowing by our car into the tornado.
And it was going to kill people.
So now we had to stop. As you're getting away, you actually have to stop. That was the moment that I felt like anything could happen at that moment.
It literally.
That tornado moved onto the I-40 and then ultimately dissipated. But I will never assume anything. Nobody anticipated that the El Reno tornado would do what it did. So I'm not the same chaser that I once was. When Mark and I left on our storm chasing trip, we had no idea that we were going to witness the widest, largest recorded tornado in U.S. history.